Part of a secret space mission to find habitable planets. We just found something that's hunting us. I work for a classified government program that nobody knows exists. We've been searching for habitable planets for 3 years, and 2 weeks ago we found one that seemed perfect. Earth-like atmosphere, water, vegetation, everything we needed for human colonization. But something was wrong from the moment we landed. My team consisted of 5 people, including myself, Marcus, Elena, Jake, and David. We set up base camp near a crystal-clear lake surrounded by massive trees that reminded me of redwoods. The air was clean, temperature was perfect, and for the first time in months, we were actually excited about a discovery. That first night, Elena woke us all up screaming. She was sitting up in her sleeping bag, staring at the lake, and when we asked what was wrong, she kept saying, "They're coming up from the water." We looked outside, and the lake was completely still. No movement, no sounds, nothing. We convinced ourselves it was stress and went back to sleep. The second night, Jake disappeared. His sleeping bag was empty when we woke up, but all his gear was still there. We searched for hours and found his footprints leading straight into the lake, but they stopped at the water's edge. No signs of struggle, no blood, nothing. Like he just walked into the water and vanished. Marcus wanted to leave immediately, but our shuttle wouldn't be back for 5 more days. We were stuck, and Elena kept insisting that something in the lake was calling to us. She said she could hear voices underwater when she got close to the shore. On the third night, David volunteered to keep watch while we slept. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to him talking to someone outside our tent. I could hear him having a full conversation, asking questions and responding to answers we couldn't hear. When I looked outside, he was standing at the lake's edge, talking to the water like someone was down there. I called out to him, but he didn't respond. He just kept talking, nodding like he was listening to instructions. Then he started walking into the water, step by step, until it was up to his waist. I ran after him and grabbed his arm, trying to pull him back to shore. He turned around and looked at me with completely black eyes. Not just the pupils, but the entire eye was black, like someone had filled them with ink. He smiled and said, "They want to show us something beautiful down there. Don't you want to see it too?" I dragged him back to the tent, but he fought me the entire way. Elena and Marcus had to help me tie him up because he kept trying to go back to the water. He spent the rest of the night whispering in a language none of us recognized, and his eyes stayed completely black until sunrise. When morning came, his eyes were normal again, and he had no memory of what happened. He swore he'd been sleeping the entire night and accused us of making everything up. But Elena kept saying she could hear more voices now, not just from the lake, but from underground. That's when we discovered the truth about this planet. While we were arguing about David, Marcus found something buried in the dirt near our campsite. It looked like metal, so we dug it up, thinking it might be debris from a previous mission, but it wasn't debris. It was a nameplate from a spacecraft, and when we brushed off the dirt, we could read the inscription, USS Horizon, Earth Colonial Mission, launched 2089. The problem is, it's currently 2087. This nameplate was from a mission that hadn't happened yet, from a ship that didn't exist yet. We were looking at evidence of our own future, buried in the ground like a gravestone. Elena started laughing when she saw it, but it wasn't normal laughter. It was hysterical, broken, like her mind was cracking. She said the voices had been trying to warn us that this planet exists outside of time, and that everyone who comes here becomes part of its collection. We're not the first humans to find this place, she said, still laughing. We're just the next ones to join the others down there. That night, Marcus tried to radio for emergency pickup, but our communications weren't working. Every time he tried to send a message, all we got back was static mixed with voices speaking in that same unknown language. The voices were getting clearer though, and I started to recognize some of them. One of them sounded like Jake. Elena walked into the lake at sunrise while we were sleeping. By the time we woke up, she was waist deep, and when we called out to her, she turned around with those same black eyes. She waved goodbye and disappeared under the water without making a splash. David and Marcus both started hearing the voices after that. They'd stand at the lake's edge for hours, having conversations with people we couldn't see. Their eyes would turn black, then return to normal, and each time they'd forget what happened. Yesterday, I found more nameplates buried around our campsite, dozens of them. Ships from different years, different decades, all from missions that haven't happened yet. Some were dated as far as 2150, but buried deepest was one that made my blood run cold. It had my name on it, from a mission scheduled for 2089, the same year as the USS Horizon. The voices are calling to me now, and I can feel my eyes starting to change. The water looks so peaceful, and I can see shapes moving underneath the surface. People walking around down there, living in some kind of underwater city that shouldn't exist. Marcus just walked into the lake an hour ago. David followed him 10 minutes later. They're both down there now, and I can hear them calling my name from beneath the water. Our shuttle arrives tomorrow, but I don't think I'll be here when it does. I can see Jake waving at me from the bottom of the lake. Elena is with him, and they both look so happy and peaceful. I think I understand now why this planet calls to us. We're not being hunted, we're being saved.